Greetings from the Texas beach. How are y'all doing this morning? I think I'm going to reduce this down to just one screen for now so we can see what's going on. I want to visit with you a little bit about price action from yesterday. Now, why we just lost all my lines, I don't understand. Let's go back to 2. Okay, I'll just leave this little thing over here as small as I can get it so I can see my lines. All right, so weird week. If you didn't notice, we're still feeling the effects of rollover week. Let me go to a 15-minute chart just for a minute, or maybe even a 4-hour. Let's just look at a 4-hour, and we'll do regular trading hours only. And so Monday, we had a directional day. I went back doing all my back testing, and I only found eight times throughout my back testing in 6 weeks where this reversal pattern failed. And then all of a sudden on Monday, between Monday and Tuesday, in regular trading hours only, I saw 5 times where a reversal pattern validated and then failed. Now, they did make at least 20 points, but they never did take out a significant level on the 4-hour chart or, one of these levels. But then, so Monday we're straight up, kind of pulled back a little right there at the end of the day, but it was kind of a crazy part of the day. And then Tuesday, we pulled back. From that, I don't know if we even took out that low. I think we left that low. Yeah, we left that low and then pulled back. So a whole lot of leaving lows, leaving highs. It was just difficult to trade. I think there may have been some other extended trading hour lows here, but it left this one. And then we get to Wednesday, we open with a gap up, we fill it, and I'm eyeballing all-time highs at this point. And so I went long on this day, and I ended up making a little bit of money. I made a little bit of money each day. I don't think I had any losing days here. But I was not making the kind of money I wanted to make that I should have made with that kind of movement. And so after Wednesday, I think I made $300 on this day, and I had the market called pretty good. And so I was pretty upset with myself. Well, that's the day I ended up leaving, coming down here to the coast, and really had to have a come to Jesus meeting with myself, talk about, it gave me it was an 8-hour drive for me. So I had a lot of time to just sit and think. And I did just that. And I decided after, one of the things I was thinking, we had rollover week last week. There's lots of people that have a ton of money, big banks, hedge fund managers, governments. They all had to get rid of their contracts last week. A lot of them will use this futures contract as a hedge. So maybe they're long SPY, but to hedge against any losses, they will go short on the futures contracts or vice versa. And we're talking billions of dollars. Okay. And then you're also dealing with the people that do this on a day trading basis, where maybe they call their broker and they'll say, yeah, I got $1 billion. Anybody that wants to buy above a certain level, let's just say 22,383. If anybody wants to buy above that level, I will accept that order. I'll take a short. And they're not worried about a stop loss because they've got deep pockets. And so anybody that wants to buy here, they're providing a seller, because there has to be a buyer for every seller. And then they're just building a short position as we're going up. And then once we get up here, they put their gigantic take profit down here. And so maybe they stair step it, what they call iceberg orders. So they put an order here and here and here, and they're bringing it down, and then finally the bottom just falls out. When it's once the market really starts falling, a lot of people just start closing out their positions. And the price is delivered by a computer. Once it starts in that momentum, it's not going to be reversing anytime soon. But we get into Wednesday, we have a lot of movement to the upside. I did take a long there, or that's Monday for sure. This must be Monday way down here. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh, Wednesday's here, Thursday, and then Friday. And Friday, I'm thinking all-time highs. I'm thinking we're going to take those suckers. We're getting so close to it. I don't see how we couldn't take it. And so I was long-minded, and I completely ignored this reversal signal right here. So let's get into a smaller time frame here. And I can show you back Monday because of the way Monday panned out. Let's see here. This is Sunday night, I do believe. That's Juneteenth, so that would be last Friday. We'd be going into the June 24, 25. Yeah. So I believe Monday is right here. Okay. So this is the one I was talking about. I kept seeing reversal patterns validate and then fail. I think our very first one was actually right after the open. We had this one validate with a fair value gap right here to the downside. You enter and it fails. The next one was here, failed. Then we had one here. We pushed down, but we didn't take out any significant levels, and it failed. And then we had one right here at the end of the day that actually worked out, but it still didn't take out anything significant. So we had multiple failures. This one was actually a failure too. And this one. So there was a lot on that day. And then you come into Tuesday, and we had breakers to the upside. Validate. We don't take the high, and we fail again and again and again. So that kind of set the tone for the day, for the week for me. I was a little gun shy because I had just seen something that hasn't happened very often in 6 weeks happen multiple times in 2 days. And so I was a little cautious, didn't want to really hold things for a long time, kind of affected my trading. But that was the effect of the rollover. That's what that was. It's abnormal market conditions. Normal market conditions, we see those reversal patterns taking lows. If they're going to, once we've taken out a significant low, then we can continue up. It's not considered a failure. If we can get at least 20 points, maybe even 50 points out of these reversal patterns, that's good. So here is our reversal pattern here. I actually viewed this as a run on liquidity. It went down 50 points because there wasn't really an opportunity to get in here. If you're getting in at a high or low of a fair value gap, there was no opportunity. But once we took that, I actually viewed that as a long and did make a little bit of money on that day. But I'd reduced my size. I was not trading with any confidence at all after that Monday and Tuesday. So that brings us to yesterday. Okay, so we opened with a gap up. We didn't even fill it to the 25% mark. Put up our first presentation fair value gap right there. I was thinking long here. I was patient. I let the first 30 minutes play out. But I ended up getting long somewhere in this area for a push to the upside. Now, I did trade the overnight session, and I started the day up $800. On this run up right here, I was just trading micros, being very cautious. I didn't want to lose any of my money. And I ended up making a little over $400 on this run up right here. And by this time, I'm up $1,250. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to get one of those max profit days. And instead of focusing on market structure, I started focusing on my P&L. And you can see here, we put up a reversal pattern right here. And this is actually saying, I mean, we got to do a little bit of chop, but this is saying reversal. We got a lower high. We pushed through the breaker with a fair value gap. We respected it, and then we pushed down. But we didn't take any significant time frame lows. We push back up. We make another lower high. And this is such a gigantic breaker. It can push all the way through. As long as candle bodies aren't going above the top of it, it's still considered a good breaker. And so here would be another entry point. And we finally take a little bit of lows here and go straight back up. And we take out this high. And we take out that high, but we leave this high. So once again, lower high. The highest point in this run up is right here, if you wanted to mark that. But this is still the high of the day, so we would use it. But this did put up a reversal pattern, and I was long because this put up a reversal pattern too, and it was really nice. And I'm thinking all-time highs are falling today, so I was long-minded. I ignored this. That's a rollover pattern, if I've ever seen one. But we pushed through this breaker with a fair value gap. We came down, we touched it, respected the fair value gap really nicely there, and away we go. And I'm thinking we're taking this high, but we only took these highs. So we did validate and make a nice little run on liquidity. From here, we get in. That high is 54 points. So if you're just aiming for 50 points on every reversal, you would have been good on that one. So then we get up here, we put up, that's the highest point here, and that's our last down close. We pull away, respect the fair value gap, come down. We don't take any liquidity. We bounce around. This is the original. That would be a secondary breaker. And we start respecting the halfway point of this breaker really well, and then absolutely fall out of bed. At this point, I'm still thinking we're just going to come back down here, and then we're going to go back up. And I got in a few trades, and my profit dwindled from $1,200 down to $800 because I'm still thinking long. I'm still thinking, oh, this is going to fail like it did on Monday. It didn't fail. We're back in normal market conditions after seeing what happened yesterday because it did not fail. It took a while to fall out of bed, but once it did, man, it did. It fell out of bed right through the first presentation fair value gap, all the way down through settlement. I would imagine we took out a 4-hour low. I haven't even looked at that portion, but I bet you we did. I'm going to mark that low there and just go to a 4-hour chart real briefly here. So on the regular trading hours, it doesn't show it. We took out this one, worked into what was most likely a fair value gap there. But yeah, we took out all these 4-hour lows, worked into this fair value gap, and then reversed. So I would imagine there is a really nice clean reversal pattern here as well. Lowest point is here. Let's just double check that. I think they may all be dead equal. That one's low is 625, 600 even, 600 even. So these are equal. They took that one out by a tick. That would make the high of this one our last up close candle right there. We don't get a fair value gap until right here. So you'd be good to enter long. right here off of the top of that fair value gap. And of course, you would aim for one of these high points or 50 points from here if you're just going to take a static profit. First presentation fair value gap would be a great spot. 50 points would get you back into the low of the opening range, back to round number. That would be a great place to aim. And then we stalled. This would be in power hour after 2 o'clock. And it would be a little scary after that massive sell-off, but you do have the higher time frame lows getting taken, nice reversal pattern, all of that good stuff. So even just a return to settlement would have been adequate. Well, you wouldn't have got very many points. A return to settlement would have netted you about 13 points. But just looking at the price action on Friday, I like it a lot better. I think we are returning to some sense of normalcy in price action. Maybe the rollover, the people that were jockeying for a position during rollover are done with all that. In this area here, I was trading what I wanted to happen. So I went long. I think I went long here, and I was wanting those highs to go. They didn't, and they ended up coming back down against me, and they didn't make any profit on that trade. And then when we came down here, I think it was when we came down here, the second time, we bounced off of that breaker pretty good here. But when we came back down, I was expecting it to go back up. So I bought here, got stomped, got bought again when it came down here and got stomped again. And I was like, that's it. I'm down right to where I started the day, $800, and I locked it out. And so I didn't catch any of this down move. I would have had a max profit day if I would have just flipped my thinking. But my thinking was all-time high, and I ignored my reversal pattern, thinking, oh, well, it failed Monday. It's going to fail again. Most of the time when I ignore my reversal pattern, I get my butt handed to me. But if I focus on that reversal pattern, like on Monday, I took 4 opportunities and ended the day in a hole because it failed all 4 times. And that gives you a little bit of apprehension about following it, at least during the same week. But one thing with those reversal patterns failing that I have noticed, they typically, if one fails, that happens. 2 fails, you're looking at a directional day, and you might as well just hop on board and go long. Even if it's just with a small size, if you're not very confident, hopping on board and going long and try to recoup some of your losses is your best bet. I am not funded again yet. I'm close. I'm within reach to get it on Monday. So fingers crossed I get back in there. So I wanted to talk to you about my Come to Jesus meeting. I hate being broke, okay? I've been teaching school forever, and the money that comes in from school teaching is not the highest wage you're going to earn as a college-educated professional, that's for sure. I've always had to Uber and DoorDash and everything just to make ends meet. And I hate being broke all the time. Everything I do, everywhere I go, I've got to be on a really tight budget. And I just don't like that. And so that's one of the conversations I had with myself on the way up here. It was like, if you really hate being broke, why do you keep trading the way you do? That was the question I asked myself. If you really hate it, why do you keep trading the way you do? Because I've got a system that works. Everything's wonderful there. I make money every single day, but I also give it back if I start trading like an idiot. So armed with that information, I know I've been doing that for a while, and I can blame it. Oh, I got emotional. Oh, this happened, that happened. It's like somebody else invades my body, whatever. But the bottom line is, if I hate being broke that much, I can stop trading before I ever get to an emotional point where I feel like I'm being desperate. I feel like on Friday when I was at $1,200, I started thinking, oh, that max profit day is right there within reach. That'll only give me a couple $100 to make on Monday. That'll be an easy day. Couple $100 is an easy day, and I can do it on every single day of the week, even without a good solid reversal pattern. And so I'm thinking, if you really hate being broke, $200 a day will pay you $4,000 a month, of which you can withdraw, 2,000 of that. But each month you're going to be growing that. So 2,000, 4,000. Next month, maybe you size up, you get a little bit more, but same risk level, same take profit level. And maybe now you're making 400 a day. Well, the end of that month, you're at $8,000. Do it again. Maybe you size up one more. End of that month, you're at $12,000. Well, $16,000 you made that month. And you keep stair-stepping it up like that without increasing your risk and without having to feel apprehensive about it. Because this system does work. It works very, very well. What doesn't work is, let's say you missed the entry up here, and now we're already in the middle of the range, and you're going to try to guess where to jump in there. That doesn't work well for me. But if I can get in up here, put my stop up above the highs or something like that, it works. I can grab 50 points. I just had to get really honest with myself about, what are we doing here? Why would we ever click in a place where it was ambiguous when we have a system that works? And so all of my work with the psychological stuff and over trading, have done really, really well with that this week. And even when I had a losing day, I didn't get upset and start grasping at straws. I mean, I've been doing really well in that. So I'm hoping to see funding this week and a payout by the next week. And I really want to post a video about how to take a payout with Topstep and walk through that process. I want y'all to see that video because I have been funded multiple times now, but I have failed to make it to payout. I can go 4 days and then blow it on the last day. So I'm not blowing it anymore. I better not. I will be very upset with myself if I do. I intend to maintain my composure and get a payout with this funded combine. So that's the goal. I'm trading well. I'm reading the market well, and I do believe I can make that happen over the course of once you get funded, you got to have 5 days of profitability over $200 before you can have a payout. So feasibly, with the holiday and everything, not next week, but middle of the following week, I should be eligible for a payout. And I would like to show you all that process. And from there, I feel like the piece of the puzzle that was missing was me and my emotional situation and all of that. And I really feel like I've turned a corner there, and we're going to start seeing some monumental success coming up in the future. And I hope y'all will join me with that and start trading. I did stop doing the live stream because I'm going to be down here for a week and a half, and I'm here in a house full of guests, and I'm their guest, so I'm not going to do the live stream, but I may still post some trades at the end of the day. But thank you for watching. I hope y'all all have a wonderful weekend. Go buy a firecracker and pop it or something. Until next time, remember to be kind to yourself and be kind to one another. I love each and every one of you. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down in the description, leave them down below. If you haven't subscribed already, please do that. Like the video, that helps refer it to other people. Until next time, y'all trade well. Be patient. And remember, you're a reversal trader. You only take trades at higher time frame highs and lows, and only when a reversal pattern is present. Stick to that rule. We'll all get rich together.